Okay, hope you see the slide. I'm Ivan, and I'm here with Mayel presenting Bonfire. And we used to think at Bonfire as a way to compose your digital words and inhabit your digital words. Bonfire is open source, is highly modular, self-governed, and of course federated. Following a quotation by Donna Haraway, we think that this sentence, composition, not accumulation, explain very well both the vision of Bonfire and also the Fediverse as a whole. Composition, because Bonfire is much more than a microblog. It starts with social at its core, but also we are building extension plugin to extend the feature of Bonfire, for example, by coordinating works with other peers, sharing videos, audios, and images, collaborating on documents, learning together, creating decision-making process with different flavors. But also the composition, the composability of Bonfire is also in its architecture, where the Bonfire app is mostly a configuration app that a configuration file that describe how all the different modules plays together. We have now developed most of the modules for a standard social experience, like the ActivityPub module, the social and the boundaries, but also we have researched and experimented with other modules that try to federate and implement other kind of activities. For example, the geolocate modules, but also the Kanban and the value flows to perform economic activities within the Fediverse, and other kind of editors like Quill or CK, and gathering to federate with Mobilizone. But also the composability and the modularity of Bonfire can be seen in how it's easy to tweak the look and feel and the behaviors of an instance. For example, creating new teams or switching the look and feel, it's quite easy and no brain. Here, just a few teams available. And also we developed a set of configuration in the user settings where you can switch, enable or disable features or behaviors as you want. For example, enabling or disabling infinite scrolling, hide media by default, show or hide reaction over posts, and as you prefer. We'll do a quick demo also. This is a local instance that I've created with custom data, and those are the feeds. You can switch between local, remote, and other kind of feeds, and you can also sort and filter feeds by chronological or most comment with most replies. You can also add users to circle. For example, here I'm adding Alice to a circle, to the friends circles, and then use those circles to address specific users in messages. In posts, I can engage in discussion, and the thread view, this view, shows different metrics, for example, the last replies and the amount of participants. And by default, in this instance, this is a thread reviews, nested replied reviews. So there are multiple levels shows, but of course, you can configure to show the classic flat layout, like in Mastodon or Twitter. So not nested. Like this. You can also sort the replies by the amount of replies. So rather than chronological, you will see the comment with most replies at the top, and then go to the bottom, and reply to a comment. When replying to a comment, you can of course write markdown directly or with an editor, and you can customize your boundaries. Here, for example, I'm replying to all the local user, but also I'm adding other specific rules called boundaries. For example, to Sean Penn, our friend, we are giving only the read option. And here the comment appear, and I can also, clicking on the boundary icon, I can see what are my permission over specific comment. For example, here I can participate to this comment, so I can read replies and interact, so boosting or liking the comment. And back to the slides, we are now finally about to publish our release candidate. So this means that in the next week, we will freeze the development of new features and focus only on bug fixing, testing federation with other major platforms, and improving the performance of Bonfire instance. And this is our very clear roadmap, where we try to reach the 1.0, and then, of course, improving the documentation and building the native application, the iOS and the Android application, given that now Elixir published, the Dockyard published a new way to develop native application directly with Elixir without writing Swift UI or Jetpack. And then, of course, based on community feedback, we want to extend the features, developing new plugins and other activities. The team is the two of us, Mayel de Borgnol and me, Ivan Minutillo. And yeah, this is basically the presentation. I hope I stayed into the 5 minutes.
Excellent. Thank you very much. You know, for those of us, I mean, you're not at this conference, who would be those of us? But for those people who think the Fediverse is only Mastodon, I think you can see here, it clearly is not. There is lots and lots of good innovation happening. Thanks, Ivan, for your demo.